It may be called a basic need, but just 2 months ago, the UN World Food Programme appealed for at least $230 million to provide emergency food assistance to 3.8 million Kenyans affected by drought and subsequent high food prices. But with no land and little hope for any, residents living in Kibera, the biggest slum in East Africa, have found an ingenious way to feed their families amid skyrocketing food prices.
Zamani tulikuwa tumekaa tu hivyo, ukipatiwa pesa kidogo, una budget nayo.
This garden in a sack now means I can provide for my family. I use it as food as well as sell it to make money.
Na tunapata chakula, na tunapata pesa.
Solidarités of French non-governmental organizations are undertaking what is being referred to as garden in a sack farming.
Basically, the project started with the aim to increase the food security of the slum inhabitants because of the food crisis and the increase of basic foodstuffs such as maize or cooking oil or even vegetables. These prices have been increased for almost 100% for the last 2 years. So of course the consequence is for the poorest household to have less money to spend on meal, on school, on medical fees. So the basic goal of this project is to restore that capacity of the household to have a bit more money and to have a bit more food.
The rains have just begun, but predictions say maize production, the staple food crop, will be about 28% below normal because of drought earlier on in the year, further tightening supply. Experts reckon that the country needs at least 260,000 metric tons of food to feed the affected population, a factor that has resulted in many doorsteps in Kibera today being flanked by earth-filled sacks planted with kales, spinach, onions, tomatoes and other vegetables.
With Solidarité, we mobilize them, we show them the technique, demonstrating. We just give them the initial seedlings, so to initiate the sack, and we follow up them. One other important aspect is also we negotiate with the local authorities, access to land, access to water, access to little space to make nurseries, and basically the team spend a lot of time to sort out all these 100,000 little issues which can put down the idea there.
Already, there are widespread benefits being felt by residents who primarily survive on less than $1 a day.
Before we came to give them this mini garden in sack, they were not having a lot of benefit. But now they have a very big benefit because they normally sell them and they normally eat them. So, and it encourages them to do a lot of work because they don't sit idle.
At the same time, local organizations are also playing a key role in enhancing food production. Kenya Community Development Foundation supports communities by giving grants and technical support to enable the communities develop in a sustainable way.
Our food security approach is that we can be able to focus on producing food and address the issues of shortages by shifting the focus from relying on the rain and moving back into using the water that we have sparingly, applying basic technologies, not very high-tech technologies.
The organization has started a program called Ustawi, an initiative that is formed out of the conviction that Kenya can achieve food security through long-term grassroots approaches.
The genesis of our work around food security started about 3 years ago. And then what we were looking at was giving communities alternatives to crops grown on the soil. So we were giving them other opportunities like rearing goats or giving them new species of cows which are more drought resistant, probably producing a lot more milk, to balance the challenges that they're experiencing with crops grown on the soil.
On the national scale, Kenya has recognized the importance of adopting irrigation, especially after going through a severe drought, which resulted in scarcity of food due to its reliance on rain-fed agriculture.
Irrigation does enhance food production, and it does increase production and sustains it by more than 3 times. Because when relying on irrigation, cropping can be done more than 2.5 times in a year.
Currently, the country's level of irrigation compare less favorably to other countries in the region, though players in the sector are implementing programs to enhance Kenya's capacity.
Our level of irrigation development is low, and we are talking about roughly 120,000 acres developed, hectares rather. But that really does not compare with regional countries like the Sudan, even Tanzania or Ethiopia. But with the increased funding and recognition by the government of the necessity of irrigation development, and with the Vision 2030 targets of 40,000 hectare development annually, it's likely that we will see ourselves now being at par, or even maybe doing better than our regional neighbors.
Tangible solutions such as the garden in a sack have shown that the food crisis can be tackled. A lot more needs to be done to enhance the country's food basket. With its ambitious growth target of 10% annually, the government will have to up its game, for it cannot build a nation on a hungry stomach.